Now the camera's on. Hey everybody, it's me, Manic Mark, your studious, chipmunk-esque librarian, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the art villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest, and come to you with a story, because I had some stories to tell today. First of all, last night, stories. One, yesterday I figured out the secret of life. Yes, there's 4 things that you need. Antidepressants. Antidepressants. And I'm not going to go into why. I'm just going to give you the ingredients. Secondly, third, Bud Light Lime. That damn phone's doing it to me again. Every time. Look, it's doing it again. Bert, I'll call you back. I'm not supposed to use his real name anymore. Oh, man. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Those 4, that's all you need. And then everything else is icing on the cake. Okay. What was the next story? Oh, now if you made it this far, new subscribers, I should put this part in the beginning. To the new subscribers, thank you very much. But I'm having some kind of physical attack. I just turned the camera on. Now to the body of the main president. Oh, and what's coming up next? Don't be scared by that either. It's just me having fun. Okay, here you go. Now, okay, we're back. That's right. I got this catalog in the mail. Military issue. Does anybody get this? It's full of books, videos, art, models, and more. It's like broken down into conflicts, pre-World War II, World War II, the Cold War. It's so sweaty, my glasses are slipping off, and without them I cannot read this. Now, in this catalog, if you can see this clearly, can you see this? Is that clear? I don't know if the camera's focusing on it. You know what that is? That, my friends, is the Reich Chancellery, you know, a room, $135, and then for $32.95 each, you can collect all the top-ranking Nazi officials. But if it wasn't for the expense, wouldn't this be the most awesome thing to have in your house? And then you can make YouTube videos, like with Underpants Pat and Adolf Hitler, towards the end of World War II, when they were inventing all those scientific wonders. And Adolf Hitler would say, don't worry, we shall still win the war because of the secret weapon. And then he throws back the veil, the red velvet veil. And who's standing there of Underpants Pat? And they say, oh my God, what kind of secret weapon? Hitler says, we're going to make a giant slingshot and we're going to sling Underpants Pat into New York City. See, that's why the government's not coming out with the alien thing, because they don't want people to be stunned. It will leave us open to the Russians or, you know, the Canadians coming over and attack. Now I'm just being silly. Now I want to get into this other part of my story, because that's the serious part. I'm going to take these off because, man. So, I take the truck, and we're moving a sculpture for a friend, okay? I'm being paid to do this. Wait, I have to probably cut that out because I could get in trouble. That's okay. I went over and set up his computer, and he won't even use his email. He's not going to see this. So I should say something really bad about him and then tell him that I said something really bad about him. So actually he used his computer and learned something. The fountain that we're moving is made out of granite, okay? So physically this fountain is not huge, but if you ever picked up a piece of granite, it doesn't take much to become extremely heavy very quickly. And my brakes fail in the truck, right? But the truck's loaded with granite. What are we going to do? What we did was, I got AAA. Okay, so we transferred. It took 2 hours to transfer by hand now, because we couldn't put the crane thing up to another truck. And then they take that, and I'm not kidding you. I get a call on my phone. It's like, ha, Mark, my brakes went out on my truck. And I'm thinking the other guy working with me on the truck is making fun of me, and it's not. His brakes went out on his truck. I called AAA, you know, they came really fast. And you know, AAA around here now has their own trucks, you know. So it's fun talking to the guy, okay, the young, very pleasant tow truck driver. Oh yeah, we bought the 3 new rollbacks and this and that. And I said, oh, I didn't know. I thought you contracted out everything. Well, that cost a lot of money. So AAA's trying to, you know, bring everything in. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. What, 15 years ago, they hired some corporate guy, you know, for 130 or 40 or 60 or $80,000 a year to come in and say, well, the problem is you have all your own tow trucks and you need to contract all that out. It'll be a lot cheaper for you to, you know, how the musical chairs. Anyway, this is 15 years ago. The Jeep I still have when it was more sparkling brand new. So as any of you men out there that have a 4x4 and you get if you're older, you already know, but when you're younger, what do you want to do with it? Well, it's like when you're a kid and you take your toy trucks and you drive them, smash them, and you run them through the woods and all that, and you want to do that to a real vehicle, okay? And I had a Jeep, and it's like, well, you know, I'm not gonna like live in the woods with the thing, but anyway, I wanted to do something in the woods. So I had a friend, I'm not going to mention his name, but he already knows who he is because he's part of this story. And we drive all the way down to the Smoky Mountains. Why we had to go that far, I don't know. Anyway, that's what we did. Took our tents, drove all the way down to the Smokies. Okay, right? We get down there. It's 11:30 at night. We pull into a campsite where we're going to put a tent up. It's one of those, you know, there's blacktop roads, and then people just set up their tents. It's a park site, and there's a big board out front, and there are it's where you put money in to a slot, and you know, I can't remember how you knew that the slot was open. So instead of even looking to find a slot because it's dark, we just pay for one out of like, I don't know how many there were, 75, picked one, and we go to the slot, and there's a mother bear and 3 baby bears in our campsite. And I drove the Jeep. There's no top on the Jeep. I have to say that. There's no top on the Jeep. And the friend I'm with is just like, I'm taking my camera, and I'm going to jump out, and I'm going to take pictures. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? They're not going to bother us. Yeah, that's a risk you can take, and that's fine. But I'm sitting here in the Jeep, and if you haven't noticed, there's no top. And the bear can probably... So, he gets out. I have a photograph. Maybe I can find it. I don't know. Of the mother bear and the 3 baby bears in a tree. And you can't hardly see them, but you see the flash of the camera reflecting off their eyeballs, you know, in this tree. He's like, come on out, we'll put the tent up. We start the lantern, we get out there, and they're growling. You can see them in the tree. Anyway, we put the tent up, they go away. So the next day is the day I'm going to drive the Jeep into the woods. Okay, to further talk about the story, it's a Jeep, fairly brand new, like 35,000 miles on it, okay? So it came with the stock tires, which weren't necessarily really very good tires, okay? All right. That's the first thing. The second thing is I don't even know what a winch is. I do not have one on my Jeep at that point. So we find a forest service trail or a lumber trail, okay? And you'll come off here. So we're driving through the thing, and maybe I'll find a photograph of it if I can. And yeah, I'm like happy, and we're looking, and then there's a giant mud puddle, you know. I was like, yeah, you can go through it, and I go through it, and I got a picture of it somewhere, you know, the mud up to the floorboards, and I know there are people that do this, don't, you know, you're all over the place, but it was just my first time. I had no idea. The whole point is I had no idea, and we're going down there a little bit farther, and for some reason I'm thinking just for how far in, and I'm not thinking I'm going to get stuck or anything like that. I'm just like, I feel like I'm pretty far in, and I don't know why, whose property it is, or what we're doing anyway. So we turn around and we drive out through the same mud puddle to get all the way out. So the whole point of the story is after all that, I think I can go anywhere in this Jeep, right? Okay. So I'm on a date in the Jeep, and we go to dinner, and I'm saying, would you like to get an ice cream or something, okay? She said, let's do something exciting. And I'm thinking, what can that be? Take a drive. Well, I got an idea. So down the road from us, there's a bridge that goes over to Licking River, right? And I always noticed the thing off to the side where people have been driving. I said, well, go into the woods in the Jeep. It'll be fun. I don't think you should do that. No problem. This Jeep can go anywhere. So we get off, but I got to tell you, the night before it rained like cats and dogs. So the ground is as slippery as a snail belly. And there's grass, and it's tall, and I'm driving, and I can't see because the grass is like as high as the hood. But suddenly, because we're in a river valley, the Jeep goes like this, and I'm sliding down, basically sliding down this hill, so I can't back up. I got to go all the way to the bottom. I go all the way to the bottom. I'm down there, mud's practically up to my axles, okay? And here come these two guys down the trail, like looking for a place to smoke pot, right? And they're like, oh, man, if you leave this Jeep here, there's going to be nothing left of it in the morning. Apparently people have done this before and gotten stuck. They get on the bump rental the back to give me some weight, and I jerk it around, and I actually get turned around. I get halfway up the hill, and I can't go any farther. So we walk down there. I call AAA, okay? AAA comes out, and the kid comes down the trail, and he looks and he laughs. Ha, ha, ha. People get stuck down here all the time. I can't pull you out. Okay. Well, what can happen? Well, I know somebody with a four-wheel drive tow truck. So now it's like 11:30. I've been there forever, okay? And here comes this guy in this beat-up truck with the boom on the back, and he's got one glass eye looking this way, and the other eye, his face is all wrinkly, and he looks worse than this. He's kind of mean-looking, and he doesn't say anything, and he runs his truck down in the woods. He throws some chains on it, and I'm behind the wheel, and he just yanks the son of a bitch just out, and then he says, that'll be $200. And I think I'm just being spanked for being stupid, you know? I'm not thinking like, this isn't right. I'm just figuring for how much time these guys have spent, they had to get somebody else in. I'm just going to have to eat this, right? So I go, and he follows me to an ATM. I put the card in and give him the $200. Like, what? I don't know. I'm a kid, right? Where was the story going? Was there a point to the story? No, I don't think so. That's it.